At the San Francisco Institute of Music, uniquely among music schools, we teach students the methods of the greatest genius players. This knowledge gives us insight into any performer's way of thinking. I've always believed there's a discoverable technical and musical process used by the greatest players that differs from what students are commonly taught. They're not just doing what everybody else does, but better. They're doing something different, but interestingly, fundamentally similar to each other. The esteemed cellist Emanuel Foreman also believed this, writing in an unfinished musical treatise. It is surprising how few rules and principles there are, and still more surprising, how completely they change the entire style of playing. Believe it or not, the really outstanding string players are similar to each other in the way they use their muscular systems and handle their instruments and bows. Unfortunately, Foreman never mentioned what those transformative rules and principles are. He died at the age of 39 due to complications from a minor surgery. What Foreman assumed is true for string playing is equally true for pianists. There are principles that transform and elevate one's entire potential. This is UC Berkeley's music library. There are hundreds of thousands of books in here about music. But are there any books that tell us what these few transformative rules and principles supposedly used by great players might be? They'd be found in this book. This book. In this book. Here. Some others to be found in this book. Can they be found in this book? Or maybe this. Lots of books, but no knowledge of genius methods. These rules and principles were known by only a handful of genius players: Jascha Heifetz, Nathan Milstein, maybe their teacher Leopold Auer, Rachmaninoff, Glenn Gould, and maybe a few others. The opera composer Rossini lamented that style is traditions, and the secrets of those traditions could be surmised by the young novice only among the perfect models consecrated by fame. Only the performing model can inculcate and transmit them, so that if those who possess the great true traditions disappear without leaving disciples on their level, their art vanishes, dies. But the best players never teach anyone what they actually do. Today's professional performers and teachers have been trained with methods based on the best guesses of individual teachers who base their knowledge on other teachers' experience, not on an analysis of the greatest players. Classical music's collective belief in the inscrutability of genius playing has prevented anyone from taking a close look. But if we begin to look carefully, as I've shown in my book, Lost Secrets of Master Musicians, we'll see that we can begin to understand how genius players think. So here's an example. Here's Gould practicing, supposedly. I mean, he's eccentric, but if we try to understand actually what he's doing, we can slow this down, go back, and we can see that it's not really arbitrary. We can see that actually he's imposing a pattern onto the music that's different from what's printed. We'd slow it down to 0.25. Da-yum, to this, to that, to that, to that, to that, right? Now, what he's really doing is putting a different pattern onto the music. So this is the way the music is printed. And traditionally, in classical music, these are downbeats, down, downbeat. These beats are considered heavy, and people bring up the downbeats and underplay the offbeats. But what Gould does is he does the opposite. He basically joins offbeats to downbeats, and he exaggerates the offbeat. He swings the offbeat into the downbeat. In other words, he imposes a different pattern on the printed music. The way the music is printed and the way classical musicians understand printed music is that beat 1 and beat 3, are considered heavy beats. 2 and 4 are considered light beats. So that would make the playing down bow heavy. But Milstein imposes a different pattern on the music. He swings his offbeat into the downbeat, much like a jazz player would, and he brings up the offbeat and he underplays the downbeat. Ba, bum, ba, da, to this, to this, to this. So, in other words, Milstein also, like Gould, imposes another pattern on the printed music, something different from what's printed. Yet these still aren't fundamental principles of music. To truly understand genius playing, we have to delve deeply into the nature of music itself, which we'll do in upcoming videos. In the meantime, come visit us and learn more about the secrets of master musicians.